Hi everybody, Malice here with another video, and this time we're reviewing the Custodes Detachment from the Grotmas 2024 Advent Calendar thing that Games Workshop are doing for Warhammer 40,000, the Sword of Spearhead. So let's get into it, look at the detachment rule, the enhancements, and finally the stratagems on offer before giving an overview of what I actually think of it. So let's go. Detachment rule, Orwick Army. So this reads, whilst an Adeptus Custodes vehicle unit from your army is at starting strength, unless that unit is an aircraft or is battle shocked, add 2 with the objective control characteristic of models in that unit. Fair enough. I will say in advance, this detachment is all about custode vehicles and walkers, so pretty much it's 90%, good 90 to 95% useful really if you're using the Forge World stuff. But we'll go into the details a bit more at the end. But carrying on with Orwick Army, while an Adeptus Custodes vehicle from your unit is below starting strength, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. Not bad. But here's where it gets bizarre. Similar wording. While an Adeptus Custodes vehicle from your army is below half strength, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1 and a wound roll of 1. So you have 2 bullet points, 2 rules, both with the same criteria, and both do roughly the same thing, but one adds rerolls to wound. I don't think one of them is meant to be there. It makes more sense to me that the reroll a hit roll of 1 and wound roll of 1's there, but whilst there is a separate one to reroll a hit roll of 1. That doesn't make sense to me. But we move onwards because there's more. The Moritoi Ancients. Now this one affects Adeptus Custodes Walker unit, so basically your Dreadnoughts. They get +2 movement, and they can add 1 to advance and charge rolls. Now, the +2 movement is nice across the board. Able to get in a position faster, extra couple of inches can make the difference from them being able to move from cover to cover, rather than moving from cover to being slightly left in the open. It really comes in for the Galatis and the Achilles Forge World Contemptor Dreads. Now the Achilles is the one with essentially the giant Guardian Spear, whereas the Galatis is the sword and board one. You want to get them into a fight, having an extra 1 on your charge and advance rolls is never a bad thing. Decent. And there's more. In the Muster Army step, you can select up to 2 Adeptus Custodes Walker models from your army. These selected units gain the character keyword. So, yes, you use this detachment if you're so inclined. You can have a Telemon Warlord, or you can have a Galatis Warlord, or you can have an Achilles, or just a box standard Contemptor Warlord. And you can have another one as a character, so they can take enhancements and stuff like that. Speaking of which, that's what we're coming to now. So your first enhancement for 25 points is the Adamantine Talisman. Adeptus Custodes models only improve the attack, strength, and damage characteristic of melee weapons equipped by the bearer by 1. Now, it does just say Adeptus Custodes model, so you have open season as long as it can take enhancements. But tying into the fact with this detachment you can make walkers or dreadnoughts characters, beefing up the hitting power of your Galactus Dreadnought Sword or the Achilles Dreadnought Spear, or even if you like your Telemons to get up close and slicey dicey, their melee weapons, you can't complain really. It's solid. The next one, Augury Uplink, another 25 pointer, Adeptus Custodes models only. The bearer has a feel, no pain, 5+ ability. Yes. How do you make something in an army that's theoretically already one of the tankiest in the game even tankier? You give them a feel no pain. So essentially, because this is available to any Adeptus Custodes model using this detachment, you can make any Custodes have the same durability profile in terms of armor saves, etc., as Mortarion, a Demon Primarch, a 2-up, a 4-up in front, and a 5-up feel no pain. I like this one. I do like the Augury Uplink. And there's another way to make it, if you decide to have a Dreadnought Warlord using this detachment, it's another way to make your Galactus, especially, even more of an absolute swine to kill. We come to the next one. This is Orwe, Unfallen, 15 points. This one is for Custodes vehicles only. While a friendly Custodes infantry or mounted unit is within 6 of a bearer, so basically any of your custodian foot sluggers or the jet bikes, within 6 of a bearer, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, can reroll hit rolls for 1. Nice, but not really an essential with Custodes, considering they are the most accurate army in the game. A -1 modifier to them to hit to them doesn't really bother them. It's nice. I'm not gonna lie. I'd take Augury Uplink or the Adamantine Talisman over it. Especially the Augury Uplink. Now, this is one because this is where Malice is going to massacre a word. Veteran of the Cataphractoi. That. It's a 10 pointer. Custodes infantry or mounted model only. In your movement phase, select one Custodes vehicle or Custodes mounted unit within 6 of a bearer. Until the start of your command phase, that unit is eligible to shoot in the turn in which it fell back. Now, if you're using this detachment, I can see this one being popular with shield captains on the jet bike. On the duck, yeah. You use it, you have them in the unit of jet bikes. You use this. You can fall back, still shoot. Yeah. So, out of the enhancements, what are my picks? Well, for me, it's the Adamantine Talisman. Takes the silver medal. It's very good. But gold, by far and away, is the Augury Uplink. 5-up feel no pain on an army that's already quite tanky. Adding that extra layer of tankiness, I'm all about that life. So, the Augury Uplink by quite some distance, I'd say, takes the pick of the enhancements for this detachment for me. But let's get into the final part of it. The stratagems. Now we've got the first one is flawless construction. Now again, with all of these, unless I say otherwise, they all cost 1 command point. So flawless construction. You use it in your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase, just after an enemy model has selected its targets. And you use it on the Custodes vehicle units it's been selected as the target for said attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets a model in your unit if the strength characteristic of that attack is greater than the toughness characteristic of your unit, subtract 1 from the wound wall. It's a nice defense buff, don't get me wrong, but it's only really going to come into play against the heaviest of weaponry, depending what's being shot at. I mean, Custodes are already quite a tough army. It's not bad by any means. As I say, it's a nice little defense buff if you need it. It's solid. We'll put it that way. It's solid. The next one, Emperor's Vengeance. So you use it in the fight phase just after an enemy unit is selected its targets. And you can use it on one Custode unit in your army that's been selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. And it reads, until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit is destroyed, if that model has not fought this phase, roll a d6, adding 1 to the result if your unit has the Walker keyword. On a 4+, don't remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks, and then is removed from play. But for the purposes of the fight before glorious death, it's assumed to have 1 wound remaining. This is namely if in the case of multi-wound profiles or degrading, because you have certain things with certain data sheets, you have stats and such that degrade over time or degrade as a model takes more damage. So that's what that comes into. But again, it's solid. It's a case of I'm going down, but I'm going to take some of you guys with me. And the fact you get a +1 for it if it's a walker unit kind of indicates they really want you to use this with a dreadnought. But it's on to the next stratagem. Wrathful Advance. You use it in the fight phase just before a Custodes unit from your army piles in, and the target is said Custodes unit. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes a piling move, it can move up to D3 plus 3 inches instead of just a D3. Again, solid. You have to get a pile in order to do it, but having an extra 1 to 3 inch move on said pile in, it's solid. Nothing more, nothing less than that. The fourth one on the list, Unstoppable. Use it at the start of your movement phase on a custode vehicle or mounted unit from your army. Till the end of that phase, models in your unit can move horizontally through models and terrain features. Now, for custode players using this detachment, straight away when I saw it, this stratagem, jet bikes, made for each other. And that's the main unit I can see benefiting from it. It's just going to be used on jet bikes. Just have them zoom up, we don't have to worry about terrain, we don't have to worry about enemy models, it can just go as the crow flies wherever you want them to go. So yeah, it's nice, but it's going to be a one trick thing. It's only ever going to be used on one unit. You're not going to use it on any other vehicle unit. It's going to be all about the jet bikes. The fifth stratagem, Relentless Persecution. Use it in your movement phase just after a Custodes vehicle unit from your army advances, and the target is said vehicle unit. Until the end of turn, your unit is eligible to shoot in the turn in which it advanced. If your unit has the walker keyword until the end of that turn, your unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in the turn in which it advanced instead. So again, a one that works somewhat for vehicles, but shines for the Dreadnought. So, what would you use this? This one natively screams to me the Achilles Dreadnought. The Galatas can get some mileage out of it as well. The Telemon maybe, depending how you build it, but the main beneficiary of it is the Achilles. You can get its shooting attacks off with the Spearhead, then charge in and do its bloody work in close combat. And the final stratagem in this detachment is Punishment Inescapable. You use it in your shooting phase on a custode unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. Until the end of phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in your unit have Ignore Cover, the Ignore Cover ability, and until the end of a phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, you can ignore any or all modifiers to that attack's ballistic skill and or any all modifiers to the hit roll. Now, this one I think is the best stratagem of the bunch. Probably next to Unstoppable if you're using jet bikes. In fact, the last three I've read out, I think are the pick of the stratagems in this detachment. But going back to Punishment Inescapable, Sagittarium say hi. Now, Sagittarium, if you don't keep up with the Forge World side of things, basically think Custodian Guard with pure range and two different firing options. I think they still have two different firing options, or they might have condensed them now into one profile in the streamlining processes they've done in 10th edition. But this stratagem screams to me Sagittarium. I suppose you can use it with the guard as well. Maybe Aquilon Terminators could benefit well from it. There's a few options with it. As I say, being able to ignore cover is nice. But being able to ignore all modifiers, I mean, not a lot of modifiers bother custodes anyway, but the fact you can ignore them altogether, you're not going to turn that down. And thus concludes everything rules-wise with this detachment. So, what do I think of it? Well, it's not bad, but it's not great either. It's incredibly specialised. If you don't run a lot of dreadnoughts or vehicles, this detachment isn't going to do you many favours. In a meta sense, people are just going to say with a shield horse detachment and maybe they're going to say with a shield horse detachment. Where I think this could shine is in a non-competitive or even a narrative sense, where you just want to roll some dice, have a laugh with some friends, and just let some of the more exotic Custode Exotica do the thing and have the time in the sun. It's a beer and pretzels detachment. I can't see it making any headway in competitive Custodes play. I think in terms of detachments in that department, the Shield Host has it on lock. So it's a bit of fun. It's not bad compared to some of the others in the Grotmas series. It isn't the best. It's nowhere near the best, in fact, but it's not the worst either. It's middling. It's mid, as the kids would say. But yeah, And thus concludes the sort of Spearhead Detachment review. So, what do you think of it, Shield Captains? Are you going to be looking to give this detachment a try? As always, let me know in the comments, and until the next video, I shall see you later. Bye.